Michael B. Singing. What's up, dude?
Dude, I am so happy to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Idea. Oh, thanks for having me.
Get this a little bit closer to you.
Oh, okay.
There, I can hear you. Dude, has your Instagram handle always been Michael B. Singing?
No, I changed because, Michael, my parents weren't creative with the naming of me. I'm right below John Smith. So I was like, my mom was like, I thought you were going to be an accountant. I'm sorry. But no, I changed everything when I started The Voice. Because I just wanted it to be uniform. Sure. Because they were all different. But yeah.
So it's Michael B. Singing throughout everything now?
Everything's Michael B. Singing.
Okay. I was so confused because, I didn't know you were a singer. And I've known you for 3 years now. And then, all of a sudden, I was like, damn, this dude's on The Voice. That's so cool. Why didn't you, post more about it or show more of those talents on these media platforms when all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I'm on The Voice, and everything's going.
I get that a lot actually because I don't really chat about it too much. I kind of keep to my. I don't know.
Oh, cheers, by the way.
Oh shit, yes. Okay, cheers.
We got Holiday Spice Old Fashioned. Let's see if Michael will be singing likes it.
It smells great. Oh my God, that's good. Woo! I'm going to say things I shouldn't. NBC is going to own my house.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding. No, that's funny you said that because people have said that before. Yeah. It's funny because Kelly Clarkson even said it. Mm-hmm. They were like, Michael, you just seem like this guy who I'd be sitting next to in high school and wouldn't know oh, you can sing and all that stuff. But I don't know. I kind of have always... I don't know. I don't like it to be the main part of my personality. I like it. I kind of get a little more excited when people find out that it's oh, Annie's a singer, And it's when they meet me.
Why is it? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it's because I have, I've been singing a while and I've been around a lot of singers. Sometimes I don't necessarily love that quality. I don't know. I don't want to put them down, but I like to put my personality first. Sure. And then they find out, oh, I can sing.
Is that with everything though? Because the production stuff too. You put the production stuff online.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah. Honestly, everything. I kind of like it when people are they go to my page and they're like, oh my God, yeah, he can produce his own music. Yeah. He can edit his own videos, all that stuff.
Is it weird? You just said a few sentences ago. Yeah. Even Kelly Clarkson just said that about me the other day. I was like, isn't that a weird sentence?
Oh, it's the most bizarre sentence to ever say. Oh my God. It's so weird. I sometimes think I'm was that a fever dream? Did that really happen? But yeah.
How was that whole experience? I guess can you walk me through how you got on and what the whole process was and what it was like?
Yeah. So I was on the road in a show for a couple years before COVID hit, and then that the live industry just completely died.
On the show.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what was the show called?
The show at the time, it was it's a concert to Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. So we were Jersey Boys. Okay. We did cruise ships. It was called December '63, which is one of Frankie Valli's hits.
Was it old school vibes?
Yeah, it was old school. It was 4-part harmony, and it definitely appealed to older crowd. It was a lot of fun though. It was a great show, really entertaining show, and I loved doing it.
Before you continue with that, I guess a 4-part harmony to people who don't know, I don't really understand harmonies a lot, right? So I've been in choirs before and I played at church and it's you sing low and this person sings high and it somehow sounds good together. What's a 4-person harmony? Why does it how do you make it sound good with different levels of voices? Is there a science to it? Is there
That's a great question, by the way. That's a really good question. It takes, you have to kind of build a good ear. You gotta because when you're singing with if you and I were singing, I'd have to really listen to you if I was going to harmonize with you. Okay. Because I'll try to kind of maybe match your tone and then you try to match mine and then it kind of makes this collaboration.
What do you mean match the tone though?
Some people have darker tones. Okay. Some people have brighter tones. Yeah. And so a lot of the time, if they're a good listener and you're a good listener, you can kind of adjust so that you match really well. So when you're singing together, it's locked in. Yeah. But yeah, 4-part is tough because everyone is singing a different note. Yeah. And we kind of have to really,
So are you just like paying attention to everything, and then like is one person like, I guess I don't know, is like is this the term baritone, like it's low type of like tone versus like someone's doing like falsettos the entire time?
Oh yeah, and we had that. We had a guy that sang so low, and then we also had a guy that could sing ridiculously high. I was kind of in the middle. I held down the middle parts because I couldn't quite sing that low, and I could not sing that high every night. It'd just like kill me. But
just like your head, like you'd explode.
Oh my gosh.
There's something super sexy about super low voices though when they're singing. I'm just like, what is that? Why do I feel that way?
No, there would be times I'd be like standing next to my friend who was like the bass part, and I'd be like, how the hell do you do that? It sounds, are you like trying to seduce me? Like, what's going on? Yeah. But no, I totally agree with you.
Keep talking to me like that, bro.
Yeah, totally.
So you're going through this cruise, you're going around, and you're doing that before COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I lived out of a suitcase for like 3.5 years, and I traveled the world, and it was so cool.
This is years.
Yeah, years.
How was that?
I think once I got to year like 2, I was like, maybe I could be home a little more, but it was
home LA.
Yeah, LA was always home. Okay. Yeah, and it was really rewarding because like I would come home for like 3 days and then I'd get on another flight and I would like go to New Zealand and then I'd go to Dublin or whatever. Yeah. And I mean, it was tiring. There's definitely cons to it, but it was like super cool to kind of live that, nomadic life. We were always,
I feel like that's like
around.
Like it's a movie, dude. Like I can't imagine that because like me on vacation, I just got back from Japan, right? Probably 2 months ago, and when I get back, I'm just like, oh, that was a lot. But then there's like people like you who've like traveled for years and you have that experience repetitively. I'm just like, I couldn't imagine that because like home base to me is like super important. It's like you get to build a routine kind of, and like you have the people you hang out with like weekly. I feel in these communities versus like on the road, like I guess you have the community of the people you're traveling with and your group, but I feel like that would be so not mentally stable in my opinion based on like my experiences.
Oh, it's for your early 20s. Okay. Hands down. Like I got it out of my system. Now I would like, it would be hard. It'd be really, really hard. Cause I mean, one thing COVID did is definitely made me a little more introverted and like more, I like really like being home. But man, when I was 22 and I was out there doing that thing, I was like, whatever. Hell yeah, I'll get on another 17-hour flight after I've had 2 hours of sleep. Why not? But no, now I totally sympathize with you on that because like it'd be tough because sometimes you're like not fabulous. It's not glamorous.
It's not the glam that everyone makes it up to be.
It's the grind. Yeah. For sure. I mean, it's cool once you're there and you like all the traveling is done, but I totally get what you're saying.
What was the most rewarding part about, I guess, like doing that traveling and experiencing the world and performing in front of people you didn't know in places that was unfamiliar?
Oh my God. I mean, it was so incredibly rewarding. Like the long flight was rewarding enough because it was like, it was so cool because you're like staring at the Eiffel Tower all of a sudden and you're like, oh, this is so cool. But I'd say the most rewarding part is, there's a lot of musicians out there that like don't get to sing for their supper, So in that time, I fully got to pay my bills with singing and music. And that was very rewarding.
That is super rewarding.
Oh yeah. Cause there's so many like musicians that are, busting their ass trying to get on the next gig or whatever. And that was a steady gig too. Sure. So I was kind of spoiled in that, regard, but
I didn't even, so like, I guess when I think about like someone who's like been on a TV show or performs on a stage, like growing up, I always thought like, oh, they made it. Like they're for sure making a ton of money. They're on that stage, right?
I thought,
And then moving to LA, it's like I have DJ friends. I have like people, actor friends, right? Probably you the same. And they're like, oh yeah, that gig that I performed at that restaurant was like $150. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Out of all those people like came to see you and you got only $150 for that?
It's a grind. It's like, actually, it's a grind.
Yeah.
I mean, once you're done with the show,
sure,
it's up to you at this point. It's not like the old days in like 2002 when, you know, like you won American Idol. Like there was artist development back then. Like you were going to be, you got good management, you had labels reaching out to you. I mean, but it is not that way anymore. The market is like so saturated with so many like these singing shows. It's hard because it's a great platform to like leap off of.
What is
The Voice or like any of these like competition shows that, because like, you know, when we were younger, I would totally watch someone and be like, well, they've done this, so they have a $1 billion house, they have 8 cars, a record deal, they're so rich and famous. But no, it is like, there's such a real element to it that's like, oh no, you have to like put in a ton more work now.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, I guess like American Idol, I guess was the first show, one of the first, or it's been around the longest maybe. I used to watch that religiously with my parents in like my hometown of like Fresno, California, and like we'd always watch it on the day of, and it was like a full circle moment because like, do you know who Adam Lambert is?
Oh God, yeah, of course.
So he came into my bar the other day, and like he looks totally different than like when he was on American Idol. Like he was dressed up in a bright neon orange suit with like a crowd, and like he's all made up, and I was like, hey man, like, I'm a big fan. I mean, you look different now. I didn't say this, but I was like, yeah, man, I was a big fan of you on American Idol. I used to watch you growing up. And it was like kind of a full circle moment. Just like I was like probably like in 4th or 5th grade or something like that. Just like, I don't even know. But like these shows, like it's so funny because like here seeing you on The Voice, I was like, whoa, that's amazing. Like I used to watch The Voice all the time. And like seeing someone I know on it, I'm just like, this is so cool. Or like a friend yesterday was on American Ninja Warrior, and I used to watch that show all the time. Yeah. And it's like so normalized in Los Angeles when like at home, I wouldn't know anybody on the show. There's a way less slight of a chance.
Oh, yes.
And it's so much higher. I don't want to say higher praised, but like it's seen as so much more romantic because you're so far off from, I guess, the spotlight of Los Angeles or New York or any of these big cities.
I think living here, we get a real, we're clued in really well on the Hollywood magic, you know, that is created out here. So, I mean, out here, I mean, we realize that it's like, oh, wow, this is like really business. Like this is all curated. This is very, you know, produced, all that good stuff. But I mean, I'm from Oklahoma. So, I mean, American Idol was huge in my house. Yeah. And we'd watch it and we'd just be like, oh, wow, I wonder what it would be like to like even be in that audience to watch. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so glamorous looking. And I mean, it is cool, but it's also when you're out here, like I don't get recognized out here, but I took a flight. I forget what state I went to, like recently after the show, and it was the time where I was like, it was hilarious because it's the most bizarre feeling, like where I was recognized. I was like,
from The Voice.
I was like, yeah. I was like, you recognize? I thought I'd be like, I was so bizarre. I didn't know how to act. I was like, what? People don't do that. Like, it was just weird, you know.
What was that feeling like? Because like I bet that was super rewarding as well. It's like,
oh yeah, I was like sitting. There was one where I was sitting at like a cafe, and they came right up to the table and they were like, I just want you to know that I was really rooting for you and you were so amazing. And I'm just like, who are you? What's happening? And then I realized, because I'm like, oh, because I have to, like, I'm a real person, but like, I'm just like, oh yeah, that, shoot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
let me dress up real quick.
Yeah, let me just completely change my demeanor.
Let me change my posture. So you're doing this show, and I guess like COVID happens, and do you like stop singing because obviously everything shut down?
Yeah, that was a really pivotal moment, I will say, because when that happened, I was like, what am I going to do? You know, I had no idea where to go. That was my main source of income. Yeah.
And was that your identity? Because like, I guess right now you said you don't want to like put you singing as like the main thing, because you want people to know you for your personality first. And that's singing is something that you do. Totally. You know? Was it back then, was it just like, was singing was like your identity defined by singing?
Probably a little more.
Sure.
I think that's probably now why I've I like want to take time and put energy in cultivating, like making sure my personality sits first, and then you realize I'm a singer kind of thing, because I guess I find it off-putting, like if you and I first met and I'm like, hey, I'm Michael B, I'm a singer. Like, what? Okay, great, dude. You want a gold star? Yeah, that's great. But
like I feel like you say like, what's up, man? And they ask like, what do you do? And you're like, oh, I sing.
Yeah. If they ask, then I'll answer, of course. But I mean, like after COVID and that all ended, it was like a major chapter that was ending, and I was like, what am I going to do? So I had to really had to pivot to like, I mean, I live in LA. It's like, it's expensive to live here. So I like reached out to all my friends. I was like, can I be a production assistant? Like, can I get on set and just, I'll get, you know, asshole directors their coffee. I don't care. I'll do anything for $1. Yeah. And I finally got a job like in September of 2020. Okay. And then all of a sudden, like, it started to like get going, and I moved up really quickly in production.
Can you explain to the people who don't know, like, what production of shows is, or production of where? I mean, I don't even know. Like, are you doing production of music type of deal? Like, what is it?
I mean, when it's kind of, because when I say production, it could mean two things, right? Sure. What I'm talking about now, production, like, I work in commercials, so it's all
commercials, TV commercials.
Okay. So everything that's on the other side of the camera, not necessarily creative. I mean, like, now I like balance budgets, and, you know, I deal with vendors, and it's admin stuff. I mean, it's not thrilling, or it's boring as hell. Okay, it's boring.
It sounds like you were interested in it from what you were just talking about earlier.
I like was surprised I got interested in it, honestly, because I was like, this is completely opposite of what I've been doing.
People geek out of like organization and numbers, though.
They do. That is a real thing. And I kind of do too, because like when that budget is perfect, I'm like, I did that.
I did that, right?
Exactly. But
some people get turned on by that shit, bro. It's like, my balance sheet was perfect, guys.
Oh my God, I can't wait to show this to my accountant. That's funny you said that. But no, I moved up in production. I started making great money, and I still work in production, even though it's really slow right now because of the writer's strike. But
for anyone who doesn't know, because I was talking to my friends in Fresno, and they were like, what's the writer's strike? And I was like, okay, well, you know all these shows that we watch and TV movies and stuff?
People write them.
Exactly. And there's a lot of writers. And there's writers' rooms, and they're kind of worried that like you could type in like, story about this X, Y, and Z, and it pops up on AI. You know, no. People are worried about that.
No, that is a thing. In the clause that a lot of these studios are like, they're trying to like use AI to write scripts, but AI couldn't write Succession, White Lotus, all those great shows. It could not write it.
You don't know.
Stop. Don't even say it. Don't even. They're listening. They're listening.
Well, it's so funny because, like, dude, a client of mine, he's a kid, he's 18, and he's super into ChatGPT, and he like took samples of the podcast, because I have like hours and hours of me talking on there, and he just wrote the script and like played it while I was training him, and I was like, what?
Were you like, this sounds like me, but it's not me?
No, it sounds like me. And I was like, I didn't say that. It sounded really good, dude. Like, because he sampled like, I think like 5 hours of me talking.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, this is kind of scary.
Absolutely. It's utterly terrifying.
So like I could understand why, because the writers who I've talked to, from just like them coming into my bar and everything, they've brought up the AI part a decent amount. They're like, yeah, it's definitely not what we're capable of, what we are right now, but they're like, in the future it might be, and that's kind of scary.
I don't even want to hear it. Oh my God. It stresses me out, because it could, you're right, it could like study 50 years of shows and like, you know, come up with the next big hit that we all want to see.
Yeah. Well, all the AI art of that whole 1 month span of like everyone in LA posting their AI art.
Oh my gosh, that trend! I did it, and some of them came out real wonky, but like really wonky. But some of them are good.
I was like, I kind of look hot right now.
I look pretty good right there. Damn. That's funny as hell.
So you were talking about just adjusting during the pandemic, pivoting to this new role, and you got good at it, and we were talking about production, and you're talking about production in commercials.
Yeah, TV commercials. And so, I mean,
and you geeked out over it a little bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, at that point, I was working a lot. Like I was like doing jobs back to back. I was on set at least 3 times a month. Like,
how was it changing? Like, how was it to change and pivot that quickly? Because like a lot of people, they don't figure it out quickly. They're just like, oh, like I am a singer, and I'm always gonna sing because that is what I do, you know. And like, it sounds like you were like, oh, I need money, I'm gonna do whatever I can, and production sounds dope.
If you talk to any musician, artist, actor, any of them, I think one of the greatest skills that any artist has is that they can pivot. You know, I mean, actors and musicians are always trying to survive. So when there's not a steady gig, I mean, we have to pivot. There's no other option. So like, I mean, to be flexible too, like, and to just like accept change, because sometimes you don't have a choice. You know, you have to. Yeah. You have to pay your rent, kind of thing. So I mean, that is one thing I will always give artists, is like they can adjust and pivot to any scenario. I mean, most of the ones I've met that survive, at least. Yeah,
that survive. I've seen a lot of people come to LA and leave pretty quickly.
Oh, it will eat you up and spit you out if you're not flexible. You know, I mean, whatever you may be going after. LA's tough. Yeah. It's really tough time.
I love the challenge, bro.
I do too. Okay, that's the thing. That's what I was gonna piggyback off of. I was like, I love the challenge. Whatever. I want to get on set. I don't care. Yeah, I'll sing. Yeah, I'll do it later.
I know. It's crazy, the pivotal points of it, like the challenging points. I'm just like, because my mom will bring up like my rent here and there, just the prices of everything out here, the restaurants and this and that. It's like, oh, don't you want to not live in like a place that's so expensive? I'm like, yo, what if you could afford and be comfortable in a big city like Los Angeles?
You're winning.
Like, you know? Yeah. Like, what if you could do that? Like, other people are doing it. Why can't you do it?
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so, like, I'm inspired by like some of my acting friends who've booked a big show or a commercial and they got really big residuals and they kind of made it. And I'm just like, whoa, I'm inspired.
Yeah, but you have to ask that person what they were doing before, and they're going to say years of grinding.
Well, I'm asking you right now. Like, dude, I was so excited for you when you got on The Voice when I saw it for the first time. I was like, someone I know, like, I trained this guy at F45 and he was grinding and sweating and like, to see you just like on stage in front of all these people, it was really inspiring, bro. It was super cool.
One of the first moments I want to tell them is
oh no,
when I first met Nate. He pointed out my neon yellow Brooks.
Oh
shoes,
yeah, I did.
And he was like, "Yo, those are dope." And I was like, that guy's cool. I was like, we're gonna be cool. That's
we're
cool.
Be friends.
Minor moment, not anything that exciting.
I'm glad that stuck out because I don't know. The thing is, like, what people wear, in my opinion, is it's part of who you are, right? Totally. It's an expression, right? So if you're wearing neon yellow Brooks, you know, you
someone's gonna look.
Someone's gonna look. You want to be like, look at me, bro. And I was like, I'm looking. I'm letting you know.
Dude, I mean, I'm wearing this. I just got this at Target, and this like sweater type of thing. Oh, I'm sweating my ass off with this whiskey, but I don't care.
Suave.
It's cute. It's cool.
It is cute. Yo, Target's been going off because like every time that I asked someone, I was like, yo, that's a dope shirt. Like, where did you get it from? They're like, Target. And I haven't been to Target in like 3 years, dude.
What?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I don't even know one near here.
Oh, there's a few. Okay, we're going to Target.
We're going to Target.
We'll bring you along. No, their athletic wear, honestly, we were just there and it was like 30% off. And their stuff is decent quality. And they've got zippers they've got pockets with zippers. That's a game changer.
That is a game changer.
I love a pocket with a zipper. And
what does a pocket with a zipper do for you?
Because shit is falling out of my pocket constantly. Okay. Quick story. Outside of a Target. Yeah. Oh my God. I was wearing athletic pants that didn't have a zipper, and my wallet fell out in the middle of the street on North Hollywood Way, and it was left there. I drove away. And let me tell you, I just got on a job, a big Walmart job with Cardi B, and I was on commercial,
okay.
And I was on set the next day, and it had $2,000 in it. Of production. The production doesn't even know this is a thing. So this is an insider scoop.
Let's go.
I know. I did not tell them this because I was like, I don't want them to think I'm not reliable. Like, oh shit.
Okay.
But magically, the Burbank Police Department calls my phone. And they're like, hey, are you Michael? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we have this wallet here that has a ton of money in it. It was cash and like my cards and everything. I'm like, yes, that is mine. And this wonderful woman, I don't know, she's an angel. Wherever she is, I love you. She found my wallet and brought it to the police department. Didn't take $1 out. It was like It was a universe moment. I was like, praise be. Whew. But anyway, sorry. Side note.
No.
Target brought all this up.
That definitely brings some like hope into the world for me, because especially here, like
major.
Yeah, like that would be gone.
Dude, I mean, and it was right by the sidewalk. There were people walking by. Someone, an asshole could have grabbed it and like,
so this
just
is
taking it.
This is why zippers are important.
This is why you need a zipper on your athletic pants. Period.
Because sometimes, like, I just like don't like taking the extra effort to like zip and then like go in. I'm just like, that's annoying.
The day you lose your wallet on North Hollywood Way, you'll take that extra moment. Okay.
So Target has good zipper pants.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
I love
How did we get
these
there?
Tangents are 10 out of 10.
So we talk about the shoes, Brooks.
The Brooks shoes.
So the Brooks shoes. That's like, how we met.
It was going to be a hit. It was going to be cool. But then I mean, we went to F45 and like we saw you every once in a while, and I always wanted to visit you at a bar.
Yeah,
which I still want to do.
You still want to. I've been at like 5 places since then. Like thinking about it. I've been everywhere.
I remember when you were. I think you were starting at like Soho House.
Soho House, yeah. And, we were talking about it.
And I was like, that's so cool, because like Tevin and I were like, we would love to go to Soho House. So
if people who don't know what Soho House is, it's a private membership club that it's in like most big cities. And it's
it's bougie.
It's bougie, but
they have
artsy.
A hotel.
It's artsy and bougie though. They don't let people in there with suits. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, if you have a suit, like a suit and tie, you're not allowed to come in.
What? That's so bizarre. Really?
Yeah. You have to be some sort of like a creative.
Which is so funny because like I've tried to apply and they like want your picture and everything.
Everything.
They want, I mean, your income, they want to know everything about you, and that's really surprising. But cool.
Income too?
Maybe I'm making that up.
You might be.
I probably am. I'm trying to be dramatic. I'm being dramatic.
It's definitely weird though. Like I've definitely had like Kanye West just sit at my bar casually and it's like, what's up? Lizzo would come in.
What?
Dude. I bartended for Adele's album release party.
Oh my god!
Like, it's weird. Like LA's weird, dude. Like especially that job, and yeah, even right now, like it's kind of desensitized to people on television or. Yeah, in general, like LeBron James had his like record-breaking night at the bar next door to where I'm at, and like he had dinner at my restaurant, and I was like, so many people would freak out about it, and like it just seems like a normal day or normal.
That's a really good point you bring up, because like I have gotten so much less starstruck.
I mean,
nowadays
you worked with
big stars, like, I mean, I hugged Kelly Clarkson. Yeah, Team Niall. I mean, Kelly Clarkson.
Blake Shelton.
I'm
a big fan of Chance the Rapper.
Chance the Rapper. Let me tell you, I love Chance the Rapper because he was in my corner for most of the show.
Come on, Soul.
I know. He coined the nickname Mikey B, and they all started calling me Mikey B, and I was like, all right, sure, whatever.
I love that.
Yeah.
His album Coloring Book, like low-key changed my life. Like I love that. I love that album.
And he's completely independent. Like
really?
I don't think he's with the label. I think he gets he like produces with choirs and he did it with some of the groups that were on the show this past season. So yeah, he's amazing.
I guess so. Like working on The Voice or like being on The Voice, what did you learn so much from, I guess, these high-end celebrity musicians who've made an outstanding career for themselves?
I mean, that is like, it's such invaluable, interactions that you get. I mean, with Niall, I mean, he was very hands-on. We were going back and forth when we were talking about songs, like what we're going to do next. We would kind of, talk together once I was on his team about like what the next performance was going to be, how I was going to
what was that coaching process like? Like, did you guys choose songs together?
A few times, yeah. There was one round, I think it's knockouts, where I chose the song, and he didn't know, and then the rest. What was before that? Before that was battles, and so we kind of all chose the song. I think I don't think I'm supposed to give away. I did sign an NDA, but once you got farther into the competition, you definitely have like I was interacting with him a lot, like trying to figure out like for the playoff performance. I mean, he is the one who brought up that song, The Joke by Brandi Carlile, and it was cool as hell. Like it really was cool because I also was just as eager for them to hear me because I was like, you're so talented. I wanted them to hear me, like actually hear my talent, you know, and to get that opportunity to stand in front of like a huge megastar or all 4 of them and to like deliver at like my best at that moment
each time.
Yeah. It's when I think about it, it's such a bizarre feeling. It's really cool, scary as hell. And I mean, you have one time, like when it's performance time, you don't get to do it 3 times. Like it's once.
You gotta get it right.
Yeah, you have to get it right. You absolutely have to do your homework and practice the hell out of your song. Like,
what was the feeling like for the blinds?
Oh my God. That was my least favorite performance.
Okay.
Yeah. That one was so scary. Yeah. It had been the first time I had sung live on a stage in like 3 years. And I was terrified. I was utterly terrified. I was so nervous. I liked my song and I liked the arrangement I came up with, but like I was so nervous. I just didn't, and anyone can see this if they watch it back. Like I didn't like quite go for it like I know I can because I was like playing it safe. I really was so like I was so nervous. And like for me to step on a stage for the first time in 3 years and it's like a national television show, I mean, that also added to the anxiety. And then it's such a weird thing because the stage is very dark. Like when
was it a decent amount of people?
Oh yeah. They have like a little in the rounds. They have it's not a lot.
That is a lot though.
It's like maybe 200, 300.
300 human beings watching just you project your vocals into a microphone.
Oh my God. Like, let alone the people that are like through the camera lens that are watching at home. You're thinking about all that. And then you're also thinking about like I tried to do enough practice where I was like, I had to really focus on my mindset. Okay. Like, because if you don't do the rehearsals where you practice your mindset, you will get up there and you'll be shit, you know? So I had to think about like, oh yeah, it's so many people at home are going to watch. And I would do a run through and then I'd get rid of that thought. And I would just really like, just focus on the vocal, just focus on what the song's about, like listen to the band, you know, and just really, you know, focus. And it was hard. The rest after that, it was fun. But
I mean, also it had the most on the line. It's either you're on the show or you're not.
Exactly.
What was it? What did it feel like when Niall turned around?
I mean, you can even see it when I smile, and it was a moment of such relief. Yeah. Because he turned around pretty early on in the song, and I was like, oh God. And so I started like it made me smile, and then I like had to remind myself. I'm like, focus, get back in it, you know, like stay with the song, like stay, like finish it. You still have to finish the song. It's kind of a nice moment.
So I was doing some research of you about your interviews and everything like that, and it said that like you tried to get on like The Voice, American Idol, X Factor like multiple times. Oh yeah. And what number was this one?
Oh God. I tried out for American Idol, I think 3 or 4 times. I did The Voice, I think twice. And I don't know if I ever did. I think I did try it for like X Factor like once. Okay. But it just never worked out. I was really young. I mean, I was an ambitious little, you know, like 18-year-old or just out of high school trying to like, you know, get on one of these shows. Yeah. But I somewhat take a little bit of value that it happened later because I'm like more mature and, you know, I have a little bit of a different sound. Yeah. Back then I probably sounded really young and like not very, you know, seasoned, you know. Sure. So
what kept you keep applying though? Because a lot of people, they would apply once, twice, 3 times and like, oh, like I guess it's not for me or it's not meant to be. And you kept being persistent.
It's super easy to give up. You can easily just throw in the towel and call it a day. Yeah. But I mean, like, there were times I felt that way. Yeah. Where I was like, this isn't gonna happen.
Did you feel this way this time? Like, you're like, I'll give it one more go. Was that your feeling?
Oh, I mean, this was the last time. I was like, after,
like you made that conclusion in your head. Like, totally, this is my last time.
Because I mean, I've done it before. I've tried out for the shows before, and you know, with COVID and everything, and like I found a new career, quote unquote, I was like, this is the last time. And if this actually works out, then maybe I'm still meant to do this.
I guess what inspired you to apply again after like finding a new career and like doing pretty well, like as a production producer in Los Angeles, and that you're like, oh, like, I guess, like, why should I even do this?
Yeah.
Like, what inspired you to do it?
Honestly, I wouldn't have done it on my own, but a really good friend of mine that I met when I was on tour, he did The Voice like many seasons back. And, you know, he's kind of in with, you know, with the casting of The Voice. And he was like, Michael, you should submit some tapes. You should do it. Like, just, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I guess I will. And so I was like, maybe. I kind of had a little bit of an in, you know, and I was like, I'll submit 3 songs and put myself on video. And it was very well received. Like, they were like, oh yes, we loved it. Your videos went through our casting office. People love you. And so I was like, cool.
Are you allowed to say what songs you sang for the?
Sure.
Yeah.
For my audition, I did.
It's similar to like a self-tape or something, correct?
Yeah.
For just like an acting submission. It's similar to that.
Yeah, I literally just like set up a camera, a light, and I sang. I did. I can't remember.
He doesn't even remember.
I don't even remember the title of it. It'll come to me, just wait. And then one of my other songs where I played keys, I tried to like incorporate an instrument. I think that helped. I did a Shawn Mendes song. I did When You're Gone, which is what I ended up doing on the show.
Okay.
For Knockouts.
You killed that.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. And then my third song, I did Jealous Guy by Donny Hathaway, which is like this soulful, big vocal. What the hell is that Frank Ocean song? I'm going to lose it. I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm going to be like, and I'll text you.
Okay, sounds good. And then I'll put it in the notes.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell? I can't think of it.
So have you been singing?
Godspeed.
That's
Sorry.
a good song.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, good. Have you been singing like your entire life?
No. I started singing when I was like 15. I was a late bloomer.
15?
Yeah.
You think that's late bloomer?
Kind of. I don't know.
Why did you start singing?
My dad works for the airlines, and we moved a lot. Okay. So we lived in Oklahoma, Arizona, then we moved to Texas, and I was in high school by that time, and I was like, I need to try something new. I wasn't doing any electives. I didn't really have anything, and I was like, I'm going to join choir. So I joined choir and, you know, like started singing.
At 15 in Oklahoma?
No, this was in Texas at this time.
Okay. How was it, I guess, joining choir at 15? Because, like, I did choir earlier, so before high school, like elementary school, middle school, and I don't think it's a regret, but I didn't dive into it as fully as looking back at it right now as I should have, or I wanted to, because there was like some stigma of like, oh, you're in choir.
I feel you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it was, but I went to a huge Texas high school, and we had some like football players in our choir.
Really?
Choir was like, it might have been, I don't know if it was like, maybe choir wasn't that, it was kind of a big deal at my school.
So it was cool.
It was cool. Like there were these like big like football jocks that would be in like varsity choir.
Yeah.
And they also had these like beautiful voices, and it was like, and I think that actually made them even, you know,
more attractive.
Exactly.
You're like, gosh dang it, why can't I get one thing, bro?
I can't get one thing. But
do you know who Luke Combs is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he has like a similar story. Like, he was in choir, and he didn't know necessarily what he wanted to do with his life, but like growing up, like every choir teacher thought he was like good, but like looking at the Tim McGraws of the world, or like just the pop stars of the world, he's like, I could never do that. Like, I don't look like them, you know? So like nowadays, like you see every type of, it's just the voice. It's literally, that's one thing I do love about the voice, is like, you don't see the person, you know? And so like, there's the Lizzos, there's the DJ Khaled's, and like all these things. I was like, yo, like it doesn't really matter what you look like. It's the biggest thing is like your talent.
Totally.
And like realizing that is such a difficult thing between not even like 5 years ago, like 5 years ago to like forever. Like there was the pop stars, you know, and you could argue that there's not pop stars like Justin Timberlake or Britney Spears anymore, or I mean the closest thing might be like a Chris Brown or something, but it's cool that there are people out there who are more confident in like, oh, like a country guy just sees Luke Combs, he's like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, totally. And I think it's cool to like get rid of that like little bit of a stigma, because like that was my favorite thing about The Voice is like the blind audition is truly blind. Like though they don't tell them thing. Like normally I bet people are like, oh, maybe they tell the celebrity judges that, you know, this person's coming and they're like this and this person. They don't, not to my experience of actually doing the show.
Yeah.
I think it's completely blind, which I love, because
I love that.
It can be surprising. Like some people like have like a crazy, huge, soulful voice, and they like look like me, you know, and it's like, oh wow, that doesn't match, which is cool.
Which is really cool. That's a beautiful thing when I witness that with someone who sings. It's like, I didn't expect that out of you.
I love that.
Not in a negative way at all.
Totally.
It's like, wow, like it could be like a super soft and silky voice, right? And I'm just like, wow, that's interesting. Like, I didn't expect that. I thought you would belt it out. You know,
it's weird. It's almost like going back to like when we wore masks. We kind of, our brains automatically were like figuring out what the rest of your face looked like. It's kind of like with singing. You know, like when you hear a singer, you're already like kind of envisioning what they might look like. Yeah. And a lot of the time, I'm wrong. Yeah. Like I'm like, whoa, I'm way off.
Yeah,
but.
Dang, I gotta turn off this AC too. I'm fucking up today.
Whatever. I know it's good. I get a little drink break. You guys, Nate's bitters are really good. They're really good.
Michael's hyping me up.
I am.
Do you like Mikey B? Do you like that?
Yeah. I mean, after he coined it, yeah, sure. I thought it was great. When I was in like middle school, I would be like, "Don't call me Mikey," because there was another Mikey and he was an asshole.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, cool.
Is your family like a fan of nicknames? Because like there's a whole Matthew McConaughey. Like I read his book and his mom just hated, like, you're not Matt. You're not something that people step on and wipe their feet off. Your name is Matthew.
Oh, I see. No, I mean, we don't really do nicknames in my family. I mean, my dad's name is Michael, but he's Mike.
Okay.
He goes by Mike. I'm Michael. I've always been Michael.
Okay.
But now, I mean, I have such a common name. Michael Williams. That is my name. And there was a kid on The Voice like many seasons back whose name was Michael Williams. And I'm like, once again, Mom.
What's the B stand for?
It's my middle initial, Burns.
Okay. Why don't you just go by Michael Burns?
I could, but I kind of like Michael B. It kind of has a ring to it.
I do like Michael B.
Michael B.
I'm just curious because that's a thing now. Like a lot of people do first name, middle name.
Oh, yeah. Michael Burns. I don't mind Michael Burns. Yeah. But it's just become Michael B. You know, another reason it's Michael B is because on set, when I'm working, there's always 10 Michaels on the walkie-talkie.
Why do you think Michael's such a common name?
It was like, I was born in 1993, and the most common boy name was Michael that year. And I'm like, you couldn't have been more creative, Mom. Didn't really.
Yeah, I work with like 6 Michaels, like at the bar.
Very common name. Such a common name. Right? I mean, next to John Doe. Like... my identity has probably been stolen 10 times already.
Yeah.
But no, on set, people would always be calling Michael on the walkie, and I'm like, yeah, what? And it's like, not for
everybody.
Me. And I'm just like, I'm Michael B. That's my name on the walkie. This is another reason.
So now you have to like coin it. You have to be like, hey, please call me this, so I know you're talking to me.
Exactly.
What does singing do for you?
Oh, that's a great question. Singing for me, oh God, where do we start?
Because you started relatively late, right? Like you said, at 15. And I feel like a lot of people, when they start at a younger age, develop a relationship with singing that they can appreciate even more because it's been with them for so long. And I guess like 15 has been a while now, right? And I feel like you've been able to develop a relationship with singing.
Oh, major.
Now, you know? And so I guess what's that relationship?
Well, The Voice is like the center of like human emotion. I mean, like the way you can say something and all that, you know. So emotionally, I think the most rewarding thing is when I need to say something. And that's, I mean, like when you sing a song that you either write or someone else writes, you're delivering a message, you know. It's not really just notes and words. You are delivering something. So I think the biggest thing for me is like the way I can like go to sing something and I'm like, like I can feel, whatever that writer was the message they were trying to deliver, or if I wrote the song, if I'm trying to deliver that, I think that's
you can also interpret the message differently, because it might not be like what that person who wrote the song initially meant.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Yeah. I felt that way when I did Heartbreak Anniversary on the show, and that's a Giveon song, and I love Giveon. I love Giveon too.
Giveon is slept on, guys. If you guys don't know who Giveon is, go look up Giveon right now and listen up to Heartbreak Anniversary, because
it's a jam.
That shit hits,
it's
bro.
A tune. It's so good. It's so good. A bunch of his discography is great.
Yeah.
But like the way he sang Heartbreak Anniversary, like on his record, like is not quite. I probably had a slightly different feeling in the way I was singing it, with like my own experience, like my own life or lens or whatever you want to say.
Isn't that weird? Because like objectively, you're singing the same song, with the same words,
same notes,
same notes, and it could portray a totally different feeling. It's so weird.
Yeah,
like you just look at it from an outside perspective. I'm just like, so many people will sing the same song of like someone else's creation, and they will make it feel like a certain way. Like I will sometimes like someone else's version of it because I relate with it more, but you can't really explain why.
Yeah, that is your own personal connection with how you connected with that song, or whatever you heard that you thought was right, where you're like, oh, I felt that, you may not be able to describe it, but like it's like, oh, that's different,
Yeah,
that's the great. It's like what makes music so great.
It's like a mystery.
Where it's like what, I don't know. It's a bizarre. Sometimes you can't describe it.
Yeah, I got really high probably like a month or two ago, and I wrote this like tweet about music, and I was like, music is the language in which we can articulate our feelings in a way like normal words cannot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I was like, why can't, like you just said, the voice is like the center of all these feelings, right? And I was like, why isn't talking and saying words in a normal, I guess, quote unquote normal manner, not doing the same thing for me as like a rhythmic, rhyming tone? I'm just like, it's weird.
It's really bizarre. It's like you could sing the same lyric. Like, let's say the lyric is "take out the trash."
Yeah.
I mean, you could be like in a trap song where like you're taking out your trashy ex or something, or it's like take out the trash of like all your past sad memories. I mean, it's so different the way it could go, and the way that artist is writing that lyric, and the way
trash could be like baggage of like your life.
Baggage. It could be a litany of things. So many different things.
It's wild.
And I love that. Like, I mean, like when you think about like if you ever like went to a Broadway play, like that play was written in the 50s or something, and it's the same words, but that artist, whoever is in that character, is gonna embody it differently. That's why there's revivals of songs and of plays and musicals and all that stuff, because like there's different interpretations of like even like the time, it could be, it could all feel different because of the current time of being in 2023. It's just a whole litany of things.
Do you have a favorite music genre?
R&B.
Why?
Because it's emotional, like, and it can also be, it's soulful. It is so felt.
It's so sad.
It can
every
be
time
like,
I listen to R&B, bro, I just get in my feels, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to be here.
No, but there's also R&B can be sexy.
Okay.
R&B can be so sexy, and it can be pop too.
Okay.
Giveon is R&B, I think, through and through. Like his tunes are like pop. There's pop in there as well. So I mean, I don't know. I just love R&B. I love the way, like, I love the chords. I just love the way it, like, to my ears, it's magic.
What did being on The Voice and actually getting on and experiencing the show do for your confidence, or do for you as a person? Because for me, I'll give you an example. Growing up, I wanted to be a professional golfer for the longest time. And when I didn't get into a college to play golf outside of high school, I decided to keep trying, even though my parents were like, oh, you should just go to school and get a degree and this and that. So I stayed at community college, and I was like, oh, I'm going to try my best to still be a professional golfer. And I tried until I knew for a fact I will not be a professional golfer. So I tried until me knowing as an adult that it's the chances are very low. You tried your best. And now 10 years later, I'm like, okay, I have no regrets about it. I tried my best. And like now you came to the point where you kept trying and you got on the show and you did the thing and you'll never regret not trying again because you did it.
Oh yeah.
And you don't have the what if feeling because you went through it. And how is it to fill that empty void that you've probably had for a long time? And what did it do for you?
It was major. Like it was, I mean, I never thought it would happen.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. I tried for so long. I was like, this is never going to happen for me. I mean, I'll have some sort of career, but I don't even know if like I'll ever get on one of these shows and have an even better career, you know?
Yeah.
But when it actually happened, and of all the franchises, like the one show I really wanted was The Voice. Like I liked it better than all of them because there wasn't really anything too much gimmicky about it. Like there's not someone that they're like making fun of kind of thing. But when it finally happened, it's the one thing where I always remind myself where I'm like, you really, this is so cheesy. You have to really not give up. Like, because you just you never know when it's going to be the right time or like it was maybe never the right time before. And now it is, you know, it's just like some things are set differently where you're just like, you can't predict these things, but like, I don't know. It was really cool. I mean, I'm really happy with like how far I got on the show and like, I wish I got
what place did you get?
I wish I got to, so I was on, I did 4 performance blinds, battles, knockouts, playoffs. I did 4 rounds.
Okay.
And the next round was only 2 weeks of TV. So I mean, I was on most of the show, which is great. But I like was really bummed because the way they were cutting us down was crazy.
It's
like
quick.
I mean, we went from like a team of 5 to 2. So only 2 people got to go to the lives. And I just wanted to do one more round. I would have been so happy, but I can't live in that headspace.
Sure.
You know, I've already grieved like it already being done.
Did it hurt when it ended?
It was weird because I was very connected with my teammates at that point. So I really like whomever went through, I was like, I'm going to be eternally happy for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it was finally airing, like when it was like being aired every week, I was like, oh wow, I got pretty invested, and I was like, I was kind of sad afterwards. I was like, oh, it's like really over, you know. But like I said, it's super important to not live there. That headspace is dangerous. Like it's so easy to stay there for way too long. And I was like, no, I need to get up. I need to start making music. I need to start making content, like whatever, to like take advantage while the iron is hot. But yeah, it's all over now. I mean, we're moving on to the next season immediately. You know, this is where it's like it's a business, you know.
Sure.
It's like the show's done, on to the next one. But
did you build a lot of relationships that you think you'll stay connected to for a while?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like team members or
team members,
as well?
Crew, the vocal coaches, some of the musicians, like they were, I mean, I hope to like cross paths with them again.
Yeah, it's crazy because no one really thinks about like behind the scenes. Back to what you're talking about, production. I was like, I guess these shows, they have all these musicians who aren't in the spotlight, right? They got the guitarist, they got the pianist, they got X, Y, and Z. And like a funny story is my old neighbor was the head pianist for American Idol for the longest time.
Wait, what's his name? Michael Orland?
Michael Orland.
I'm so glad I said it before you said it.
I think you know him. Yes. I forgot. We talked about this, didn't we?
Oh my God. Did we?
How do you know him?
We like connected online.
Oh.
Yeah. We like followed each other on Instagram and he followed me back and I'm
recently?
Like, oh, well, it's been a year or 2.
Okay.
But wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he's my neighbor. He lives in, I mean, I don't think I should say it, but he lives around here.
Word. That's so funny. Wow, cool.
He's so talented. Yeah, he's giving Kevi singing lessons.
Oh, cool. Yes, Kevy. Get it done, Kevy. Yeah, I'm proud of you. That's amazing.
But dude, it reminds me of such a small world because I trained one of the head people at Warner Brothers.
Oh, wow.
And like I think the president of Warner Brothers, and he worked on American Idol.
Yeah.
And he knows Michael Orland, and like he had the American Idol sign in his office where I was personal training him.
Yeah.
And it was a full circle moment because I was like, wow, the world's small. Because like when I was in like 4th grade, 3rd grade, I was watching American Idol with my parents. And now the American Idol main sign is in the office of a gentleman I am personal training.
That's sick.
And my
That's
neighbor is the music producer / pianist for all these, and he's worked with all these cool people.
Yeah.
It really blows my mind, like the city.
Oh my God.
You know, and after that happened, I was just like,
it gets tiny. It gets
tiny.
really tiny.
It's really tiny.
And of course, like you have like personal experience from like being a kid and watching American Idol and loving it. So like that's so cool.
Is there any creativity in what you do right now in production wise?
I mean, there's a creative way to move numbers around.
Sure.
But I mean, I call it the like proximity effect because the reason I think I've stayed in it for as long as I have was like not only because I needed money, but it's like you're just that much closer to something creative happening. Like you're on set, like you're around acting, you're around like, you know, movies and how, you know, films are made, which I thought was really I've always admired filmmaking. I love it. I think it's the coolest. I think Hollywood magic is so cool. Like how things are produced. I think, and I loved getting on the other side of it to like kind of learn more about like how do you pay for all this? Like how, I mean, you know, what's the like inner workings of like making a shoot day happen? Like
I guess if you could describe it a little bit, because I don't know too much about it. Like I'll see certain things on Instagram about like, you know, the Barbie movie with Margot Robbie.
Oh yeah.
Right. And it's all pink. And like there was these statistics of saying like there's a shortage of pink paint in the world just because
of that movie.
Because of that movie.
Oh my God, it's funny.
And I was like, what? And then I was like,
funny.
Actually, that is a lot of pink. And someone had to create that set and paint the set and do all these things for people around the world to appreciate this piece of art that is so ridiculous. Yeah. It's like a world of pink.
Oh, there's a really good Architectural Digest video of them going over the set. So
I mean, look it up, guys. Yeah, I don't know this. I'll look it up after.
No, it's a mad cool video because it's like it
mad
looks
cool,
like
guys.
It's mad cool. But it is all like it looks like a Barbie playhouse. It is really like the production designer killed it. It's so cool. But if you like want to like talk about the production of like that, for example, like
I mean that's just an example.
They're on a stage.
Yeah.
Just like how The Voice is shot, they're on a big old stage where they build this set and they build this world. And I mean, that set is expensive, like expensive. They spent real money on that, you know?
Real money,
like,
not fake money, guys.
No fake Barbie money here. Like, and I mean, the prep time and like picking the pink, you know? I mean, I bet there's like 100 pinks they're using.
Yeah.
So like there's just so much thought, and like I loved learning about that world. Like even when we watch like a 15-second progressive commercial or something, there's so much thought and things going on in like what lamp is sitting in the living room to what couch to what blanket, like what.
Why does that matter?
And then the wardrobe has to match. So it's just like,
why does that matter? Why does the lamp of a commercial matter?
It doesn't, but I mean, there is a whole department that is their job. Like they're in charge of. I mean, if you're gonna,
we got some Teeling Irish whiskey. It's Michael's first time.
I'm Irish, so this is great.
It's in his blood.
Wait,
cheers,
mate. Cheers, mate.
Thanks for coming, bro.
Dude, I'm so happy to be.
I'm so excited that you came. Silky smooth.
That is smooth. That is not Jameson. I'll tell you that. That is smoother. Oh, I am a whiskey guy.
I do like it more than Jameson.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
I instantly. I mean, but I love Jameson.
Yeah.
But that is.
It's really good. I don't really like Proper 12 though. Like, have you tried Conor McGregor's whiskey?
No.
Oh, really? No. Do you know who Conor McGregor is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't tried his whiskey. I need to.
That's how he became a billionaire.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe I've never tried his whiskey.
Yeah.
Maybe I have, but then again, it's whiskey, so like maybe I did try it, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's your drinking like? Do you drink a lot?
We have now reduced it to only on the weekends.
Only on the weekends, except for today.
Except for today,
because of the podcast. What's the reasoning? Just for health?
Health and it was just like not a routine. It's not like a routine I wanted to like
build. Yeah.
I mean, like we would drink like every night. Like I mean, we would have. My favorite thing to do is to like pour a wine and turn on Netflix, like or whatever.
Honestly, wine's not bad. Like 2 glasses of wine a night max. You could still stay relatively like fit and healthy, and the calories is not too extravagant.
The thing that was happening though is like we would get up at 6 a.m. and go to F45 the next day.
Okay.
And we would try.
Now it's Helix Gyms, guys.
Now it's Helix Gyms. Yes, Helix. Sorry, Zach, if you're watching. But we would get up and we would go to that first morning class because I mean it would be the only class we could go to. Yeah. And at the time we were like we really wanted to.
Yeah, you guys are early birds.
A lot. Well, we had to. Like our days start. Yeah. 9. Mine's at like 9:30 kind of. So like that's the only class to get it in, and we would just like we'd be like after class we'd be like, wow, that was a great workout, but like we were just sweating wine. Like we were just like, we need to reel in the drinking. So we were just like, we just kind of reeled it in. Yeah. But I mean, I still love on the weekends. I look forward. It actually makes me look forward to having a drink.
Yeah. So all my clients that, they're empty calories, right? At the end of the day. Oh yeah. So it's not like protein where you consume it. It's like it helps your muscles grow. Like
you can put a scoop of like a little protein
that tastes disgusting, but like I say that I'm like, hey, if you want something sweet, if you want an alcoholic beverage and you're trying to be fit and healthy and like be productive throughout the week, write it down and like save it for a day or two every single week, because it teaches you delayed gratification. And especially for some of my clients who are so well off, right? Yeah. They have everything they ever need. And the only thing that they're struggling with is their body. And it's usually the opposite from like a lot of people. It's like they achieved everything except the one thing that matters the most, the body, right? And so I'm just like, yo, life is easy. You have to make it hard to make it more enjoyable, you know? Because like the lack, for someone who has so much access to a lot of good things in the world, you have to limit that, because you can't just be exposed to so much dopamine and sugar and alcohol and all these things. I'm glad you
said that, because like, you know, we just so easily could just like run to Trader Joe's and get like a $5.99 bottle of wine or something, you know what I mean? Yeah. Where it's like, it's easy. You can just get it whenever you want, you know?
And you could have this great experience at home, and it's not that expensive actually. Yeah. You know?
No, it's quite affordable. Honestly.
Quite affordable.
Yeah, which is more dangerous.
Honestly, Trader Joe's wines,
foyer. Oh God, yeah, we mess with some Trader Joe's wine for sure.
What's your favorite item to get from Trader Joe's?
Don't you dare do this to me. Oh God, my favorite
item.
God, they have great coffee. They have good coffee.
I'm sleeping on the coffee.
It's pretty good. They're like organic, like medium roast Joe's, whatever. It's pretty good.
I just started getting their cold brew, and I kind of like it.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Yeah, their cold brew is really good. They have these like what are they called? Not tahini, but like those spicy chips. I can't think of the name right now.
Oh, Takis.
Takis. They have like a dupe that's like the Trader Joe's dupe, and those are pretty foyer. They are good.
Yeah, they're really good. I honestly like them better than the regular Takis.
The vanilla bean little scones. That's where we're like.
I said one, bro. You said you were saying multiple.
My wheel is spinning now.
Yo, what is so like? I guess you're in a job right now that is not necessarily creative from what you just talked about.
Yeah.
And did singing or going back into it, is that like a space that needed to be filled?
Oh yes, 1,000%. Because my friend who like was like, Michael, audition for The Voice. Like you got to submit some videos. It came at like the most perfect time because what is now in production. I mean, like how far in after COVID? Like 3 years.
Yeah.
At that point, I had been doing it.
It's been 3 years.
Wild to say. It's so wild to say.
I mean, before you continue, like guys, we were working out in a parking lot with the masks on, 6 feet away from each other, not talking to each other, like not seeing each other's faces outside. Like,
quick side note though, there was an apartment complex next to F45.
Yeah, we're talking about F45 Studio City, guys.
Yeah. And we worked out in the parking lot. And like
they hated us.
They despised us. Like they would put windows like boycott F45. And I mean, there was a couple trainers that would like scream louder or make the music louder, and we would just be like, oh god.
I felt so bad because like it's 6 a.m. and I just imagine like a class going on outside your apartment door.
I'd be mad too.
I would be mad too.
Yeah.
But that's a reason why a lot of people went to the gym, especially F45. It was popping.
Oh,
it was like 40% classes outside.
The first class was like, there was a DJ. There were these like little vendors with like little seltzer drinks. I was like, what the hell is this? This is so lit.
But outside is wild. We were bringing all the weights in and out every single day.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
It was a workout.
Oh, that sucks. No wonder, like, if you took the last class, like, all right.
I hated it.
You made all the, like, be like, get your dumbbell.
I try to think the most positive of it. I was like, this is technically a workout. Like, you didn't work out today. Like, just grab a weight and walk.
Exactly.
So, tangent. What were you talking about? The void that singing filled for you. Coming back.
Oh, yes. Anyway, he called at the right time because I've even said this in some of my interviews when I was doing the show. I was like, I was ready. I was going to hang the hat. Mm-hmm. I was like, maybe I'm just going to like keep working up my way in production and like be a producer and like, or like try and be a line producer and all that stuff.
Is that what
and
you
like,
want to do now?
No, God, no. It's because it's still, it's a great high paying job, but it is like, it's stressful. There's a lot of crap on your shoulders, a lot of responsibility. Mm-hmm. And I love responsibility. That's why I've loved working up in production. But I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, because at that point it's like, what about trying to like be a musician or like trying to like really cultivate
there
that?
A fine line though of, because a lot of people, like you said, singers like can't pay for their supper. Like what you said. And it's so nice to be able to have a job that can provide you with a nice spot in Los Angeles, California, and have good food, because like I lived here when I was budgeting $5 meals. Like in college, like I went to UCLA, and I was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna live out here, dude.
Oh my God.
And to be able to just conquer that is a big quest in itself, and it takes the stress out of the creative aspect, because it gives you a little bit of freedom. Like on my free time, I could fucking sing, dude.
Ew. Yeah.
Right?
No, for real. Like, and I'm in this, like, it's really great. I'm glad you brought this up, because I'm in this like little bit of like this middle ground where I'm like, I have this decent job, but this job also
it's also better than decent.
It's a great job.
It's a great job.
It's a really great job. Like I work with a lot of great talent and all that.
The only reason why I say that is because I put this in perspective a lot to most people. I was like, I've worked in the service industry, in the hospitality industry, where I see, especially like imagine at Soho House, I see these ladies working 60, 70 hour work weeks, just like taking out trash, doing dishes, like setting beds. And I was like, wow, like my quality of life is so much higher, and I do not need to work nearly as hard as these people. And that's why I say it's a better than decent job, because there's so many people in the world that have shitty jobs that are necessary for our daily life to continue and go.
It sucks because like, there is that job, and like someone is gotta do it. You
just don't think about it.
No, and it's like, it's good to be exposed to that, because like when you see that, it is helpful to be reminded, like, it makes you like really grateful. Like you're like, damn, really grateful.
Really grateful.
Gosh, it's because like that's a grind.
It is a grind.
That is a grind.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? 1 second, quick drink break, guys.
Little ASMR.
Yeah.
I need it. Ooh. Okay, sorry. I kind of got turned on by that glass.
Oh my God.
No, we were just talking about the ability to create because you have a good job.
So this great job does afford me, because I'm freelance. So like I can say no to a job if I like maybe want to take a month to.
Like, do you work with a company, or is it just like it's just freelance?
I'm freelance all the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I've just recently been off for a lot, but that's because of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Which I get. But I'm now like really needing a job. But that whole time, like there's been like content and things I've been able to make, I've been able to like focus on that. And I think I need to lean into that a little more, where like, I really need to like grind for like a month, maybe 2 months, and do jobs back to back. Then I can probably live for 2 months and really focus on like creating things, because like my main priority right now is I'm really trying to like build an audience. I'm trying to like build engagement and like
for singing.
Yes, because I want that to be in place a little more.
You want it to be a bigger part of your life than it is right now.
Major. I want it to be full time. Like I love creating things. I love like producing my own music. I love editing videos. Like I nerd out real hard. Like I love it so much. It's super
interesting too when you post the making of a beat or the making of a song. It's really interesting because a lot of people don't understand the process of it.
Yeah.
And the technology of it.
Oh yeah.
Or all the above, and having a glimpse into that process is, I would say, very intriguing. I'm gonna stay here and watch this whole 10-minute clip about like how he built this beat and how he started singing it, and I don't really get it, but I'm gonna pay attention because it's so cool.
I love that you're saying this because that is totally, because I was like really brainstorming one day. I was like, what is something I could make that could really be appealing, that could also be appealing to musicians, but also to like people who maybe don't know as much about like music production, but have like maybe would find it entertaining.
Yeah.
I wanted to like walk that line where I could like make a video where they probably hear a few new words that they've never heard, like arpeggiator or something. They're like, oh, what's that? But like, then they see how it works and like keep it in layman's terms, because I mean, I appreciate my musician-y videos as much as the next person, but I love when I'm able to like play that video for someone who doesn't know shit from Cheyenne about like piano or whatever, but they are like entertained by it, you know? We're like, I think that's the main reason why I'm so big on like putting my personality first before being a singer, because I want them, like when they watch one of my videos, I want them to be like, oh damn, this dude's kind of funny or kind of stupid and kind of weird and dumb. Like, and then there's like, oh, and then he's also making this sick beat, you know? That's the line I want to walk. And I think I want to keep creating things like that for a minute, because my ultimate goal is to create original work. Like, and I think the only way for me personally, because I'm not that, and I can put my like ego on the shelf for a minute. Like, I'm not that like super unique. I don't have crazy colored hair. I don't have like wild, you know, that make people like, oh wow, look at that kid, he's weird, or like he's got something. Not necessarily weird. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. But like, I want to like try to really build an audience so that when I can release original work, it can stand on its own.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing, like the last couple things that you put out, it's like you're trying to recreate someone else's work, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the biggest thing, is like you have to be a fan and you have to learn what other people have done to be able to create your own opinion as well as your own individuality.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
And like the biggest artists aren't original. They're just taking a little bit from all the other artists that they've consumed.
It's a just melting pot. It is just, totally.
And I guess at the end of the day, like it is like them, but like they've, for example, who's the British guy, slightly bigger, plays the guitar a lot? Capaldi?
Oh, Lewis Capaldi.
Yes. Yeah. So one of his biggest things is Ed Sheeran played a cover of Lewis Capaldi, and he freaked out because he has a video of himself covering most of Ed Sheeran's work up to that point.
Oh, that must have been such a crazy feeling.
You know? Yeah. And I was like, wow. Like, this dude he's been studying Ed Sheeran for years and years and years, and Ed Sheeran is part of who he is because he's consumed and participated and recreated the artwork that Ed Sheeran has, and now Ed Sheeran is recreating his work.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, like that's a beautiful full circle moment.
I could only imagine how that must make him feel. Like, that is cool as hell.
You know?
So cool.
Crazy. And are you a big fan of Charlie Puth?
Love Charlie Puth. Yeah, it's great.
And he's just in his fucking underwear making beats, and like he's like, here's a fucking light switch, bro. You know? And like just putting on this great production for like people to see behind the scenes. When like reality, like 20 years ago, you hear this beat or these music and you have no lens into the creativity or the life of this person.
Yeah.
And to like open up the window and see right through and like, oh, this is how Michael did that. It lets us know, or lets the people know who are a fan of you, or just friends of you, like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah. And that's what I want. I want to bring those people in. Like, I want to not just bring musicians in. I want to bring, like, I want everyone to slightly, like, feel not only entertained, but like get some sort of value or something. Like when they watch a video, they're like, that was really fun. I didn't know how, like, maybe this is how a beat is made, you know? And I think that's super cool. I like Charlie Puth's stuff is like, it's so silly and hilarious. And like, it's like, his is funny. And like, I don't necessarily want to do exactly what he does. Sure. I want to, like, you know, kind of find my own lane with that. But I love that he does that. Like how he can literally go, like, record a water fountain and, like, make a whole song out of it. So it's
weird.
Like,
I mean, it's so
it's super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even if you're not a musician, like, if you're watching that, you're like, whoa, that's weird and cool. Yeah. You know?
What do you, how did you learn all this, by the way?
Oh my God. I am at YouTube University. Totally.
That's
through
crazy.
And through.
That's crazy.
Since I was 15, when I first started singing, I begged my mom for a microphone from Best Buy that was like this shitty little, like, USB, like, and I was like, and it came with software, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sing and do all this stuff. And I started to, like, make music then, and I was like, oh, I love this. And so I've just always, like, anytime I, like, make a new song, I always try to incorporate, like, a new technique or a new type of way to make your vocal sit in a little better or whatever, you know. And it's evolved into this thing. So
YouTube, it's so crazy. You could learn to be a doctor on there.
I don't want to hear people complain. Like, you can, I learned how to install a ceiling fan from YouTube. I was like, I need to put this damn ceiling fan up, so how the hell am I not going to electrocute myself? And so you go to a YouTube video.
Isn't it crazy that people set up a camera and be like, oh, people might find this interesting about installing a YouTube fan? And right now, like, at this example that you gave, it's giving you so much value that you don't need to call someone and be like, hey, like, Mr. Electrician, can you please install my fan for $250? When you're like, I fucking did that myself, dude.
Oh yeah,
because I had someone who was, like, curious and, like, enough to be like, hey, someone might find a little bit of value in this.
And this is also LA with price gouging. I reached out to an electrician. It's funny we're on this topic because I needed to change a light switch. Yeah, that's it. Just one little light switch. And I was like, it was messed up. It was loose. It was bad. And I was like, I got a quote, and this guy quoted me like $350, and I was like, there's no fucking way. I'm like, this is it's ridiculous. And I did some quick research. Sure. I went to Lowe's. I bought a switch for 97 cents. And I watched a YouTube video, and I changed that thing in 5 minutes. And I didn't even spend $1. And I was like, wow. Okay.
Literally not even $1.
I didn't even, like, and I'm not, like, going out and, like, what am I trying to say? What's in this?
Nothing.
Either way, the switch works, damn it.
Yeah. I guess in the electrician's defense, it's like a lot of people pay for convenience, right? And
totally.
You driving to Lowe's and all that stuff.
You're paying for fear, like avoiding fear. Yeah. Like, I was scared, I will say, of getting electrocuted. Yeah. Like, I was like, if I touch one thing wrong way, I could start a fire. Yeah. I could electrocute myself. I could be in the hospital.
Dang, you
all those things.
That deep.
I know it's deep. Sorry.
Like, a lot of people just, like, would change it and be like, oh, if I get electrocuted, like, that's
a little buzz, never hurt nobody.
No, never hurt nobody.
But I got fed up because every time I would go and use the switch, I'd be like, God, this fucking thing. And I was like, I'm changing it.
First world problems, bro.
I know.
Isn't it crazy?
I know.
It's like, literally. I got so mad. I just changed this light for the first time with a buddy of mine. It used to be this.
Did you put that fixture in?
Yeah, we just put it in.
I was laughing a second ago, and I was like, and I was like, oh, I really like that fixture.
Yeah, it's dope, right? I had a hanging one, and it was covering the bar, and you can't see it. So you're the first episode that doesn't have an ugly lamp hanging down right now.
I'm so honored. I'm so honored.
So honored. Dude, so what does creativity do for you? Or, like, what, I guess before we go into that question, what is creativity to you?
It is something that has to be in my life or I will die.
No, I guess what is it? Like, what's your definition of creativity?
Oh, like definition? Oh. The deepest, most complex version of expression you can have as a human. Because creativity allows you to not use words, or maybe use words, whatever. Like, when it comes to art or, like, whatever. Oops, sorry, shit. like you can create something that has an expression for itself and like, or has a message that you built into it. Like that's you, like you were inspired to paint it that way. You know what I mean? It's like creativity is so crucial to, I think like even for people that are not quite like creative people, you're still creative in a way. Like you're still, as a like human being, you still like create something, you know, that's yours. And I don't know. It's just like, it's a version of expression that is so important, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we're very fortunate too, because like we live in like the US and a lot of people are very, I don't know, anti-US, positive US, wherever it is, but like different countries, like they just do a job. Like sometimes they're just pigeonholed into whatever they're doing. Yeah. And to be able to do this podcast right now and talk to you and create and express our thoughts in a way that anyone in the world could hear if they just click subscribe or just like listen to it, or just go on The Voice or on your YouTube channel and see like the way you've put something together and they give them value. Like,
so cool.
It's so cool.
It's so cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah. For anyone. I mean, especially because like we can post something online and someone in like Indonesia can see it, you know, and it might inspire them. It might like, you know, make them feel good or like make them like, you know, want to do something for themselves. You know? You never know how you like
inspire people.
I get DMs like crazy from like
sliding
people,
into Michael's DMs, right?
Not in that way. God, maybe a few, but like, no, there are some that are just so like vulnerable and real where they're just like, yo, like this is so inspiring.
Dang, what type of vulnerable DMs are you getting, Michael?
I get a few. Oh, okay. I really do. Where they're just like, this is so inspiring. I love that you did this or whatever. And like, now I want to do this, you know?
Is that just some like really good positive reaffirmation?
It's the best feeling in the world. It's so cool. It's just because I've never really had it until this moment. So
yeah, because a lot of people, I guess, will not experience that in their entire life.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You know?
We're fortunate as fuck.
Really fortunate, because like when someone will hit me up about like a workout and be like, hey, you inspired me to work out today. I was like, oh, that's dope. Like regardless, I was like, dang, me posting a video of me working out, like to that one person inspire them to work out. I don't really care if anyone was like, oh bro, like I could deadlift more than you. I'm like, sick, dude.
Great, good for you. Like what? Gold star for you. Like what? Okay.
But it's to that one person who was just like, oh, like I don't really work out, but like Nate made me do it. Didn't make me, like inspired me to do it. You know, that's cool.
Think about how like planting that seed could like where it could evolve. You know, like they could can change the trajectory of their, like, I mean, they could get so healthy or like get so something and like get inspired with fitness or whatever. You know, it's like it could go so many ways. Yeah. Because you took a moment to share what you do. Yeah. And someone else saw it, you know. I think that's the coolest thing ever.
What do you call it? What advice do you have for like, I guess like someone out there who like wants to sing and is like older, maybe older than 15, right? And doesn't know like the technology about like making beats or just sings in the shower and is like, oh, like I really want to do this. Like, what's your advice to him or her or whoever they are?
Oh, well, I mean, fuck the technology. Like, you can sing. Go sing. Like, I mean,
what's the first step?
Like,
what do they do?
I think, I mean, everyone has like going back to YouTube. If you want to like really, if you want to take a voice lesson, you can literally look up on YouTube breathing exercise or like, you know, I have this type of voice. How do I use it better? Type of thing. There are resources out there. I mean, I would encourage, like, I mean, if anyone had interest in like singing or whatever, or I don't even like want to nail it down to just singing, like self-expression. Like singing is a form of expression. And if you want to express that way, more power to you. Yeah. Absolutely do it. Like you don't even like need to be amazing, you know? Like there's so many singers I listen to that are a million times better than me, and where I'm just like, oh my god, that's so, like, they kind of inspire me actually. Where, and I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, wow, I wish I could do that, but like then I'm also like, how inspiring. I want to try and be able to do that. I'm gonna, you know, watch a video and like get my breath support better, or like, you know,
isn't that weird though when you're talking about singers like being better? Like, isn't it all subjective?
Yeah, it is subjective.
It's like, why is it better? You know, is it just better because more people listen to them? Is it better just because they could do something that you cannot, even though that you might be able to do something they cannot?
I think those singers have great songs, and they don't necessarily, they pulled you in a different, they pulled you in a way that's their own. We can get into branding and they like the types of singers that when you hear them, you know exactly who it is. That's a big compliment.
That is a huge compliment.
Yeah.
That
like
is a
when
huge
you
compliment.
hear
Voices are so interesting because like for people who are just listening right now, you might know me just from my voice.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And they might not ever look at the YouTube video or the shorts or like whatever. It's clearly just from the characteristic that I was born with.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And they might just know you on a Spotify song, right? And they can't put a face to name because that happens to me all the time. Like I will be a fan of a musician and I will not recognize them in person because I don't see them.
No.
I listen to their voice and I appreciate their voice, or a voice actor, or you know.
Oh yeah, that's a good
like
point
voice acting's a thing.
It's huge.
But
Yes.
like I will most of the time don't know what they look like.
Oh no, like I don't know what Buzz Lightyear looks like. Well, maybe I do, but you know what I mean. Or
Probably
like,
not. Do you?
Or
I'll be interested. I'll be very.
is it
intrigued.
the same voice actor that does that one voice on Family Guy? Who am I thinking of? I don't know. Or but like if you're like thinking of like
cool?
Woody, it's Tom Hanks. You know, it's like
Yeah. So I told you I just interviewed Seth MacFarlane's personal chef too.
That's so sick.
Crazy.
That's so cool.
What does fitness do for you? Because like I guess we met
Good question.
We met from a fitness point.
Yeah.
You know, and fitness is very. A lot of people have like a positive view of fitness. A lot of people have a negative view of fitness. I've had a few like plus size models on who are like into fitness. And then a lot of people are like, oh, we're in a world where body shaming is bad and like everybody is accepted. But like from a scientific standpoint as a personal trainer and like talking to like head professors of physiology at different colleges and stuff, like there is a fact of like what is healthy and what is not. But and then there's the other side to it of like, oh, I accept you every single way you are, and it's a very fine line. You know?
I think there's a place for everyone with fitness at whatever, like, you know, body you're in. I think some people just have different bodies, and I think we're definitely getting into a landscape where, you know, that can be a touchy discussion, you know? And, I don't know. I mean, fitness for me, like is, I love it very much, even though I like hate it sometimes. But like when I hear that alarm go off, I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I don't want to go. But especially because it's
especially in the morning.
We're like doing like legs or something, and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna have to fucking do back
Squats
or something, or no, even worse, like
Michael's throwing it back, guys.
But I just have to think about how I feel at the end of the workout. And I think that anyone can feel that way in whatever body they're in. Like, no matter, you know, how
Describe
they are.
that feeling.
Like, it is such a feeling of like relief on top of satisfaction.
Relief in what way?
Because you're not fucking doing it any longer. and then but also you're so it's like I can start my day like it's like satisfying as hell. And I've like really learned to love fitness. And I mean, if we're gonna like try and connect like fitness with like maybe like, you know, singing, whatever, it is like it actually has made me a better singer because like I can breathe better. I'm more grounded in my body. Like I like have a stronger core. All those things are like really important if it came to like, if we're going to talk about singing. So, I mean, it all correlates. Like the number one thing I want to do when I get out of a workout is go get in the studio. Like I want to go like, cause my voice feels really good, like and loose. I'm like, oh dang, I should go like, you know, lay some vocals or something, which is another thing because I will do anything that will ultimately make me more creative. Enhance my vocals or whatever voice, whatever. But
because your
also
voice is a muscle, right?
Yes, it's completely a muscle. But also make me do it. Like being an artist and like creating music and all that stuff like is discipline. You have to be so disciplined to be an artist, massively. You know. What are your thoughts?
Because I feel like there's a lot of artists out there who are not disciplined. I've seen I've seen amazing pieces of artwork, like paintings, and I'll go in and the studio looks tragic.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Tragic. It's like,
in that kind of regard,
is everywhere. They don't give a fuck when the due date is. They do it whenever they want to do.
Oh, I see.
You know, and
I'll drink wine when I record.
Yeah, that's dope.
It adds a cool little to my voice sometimes.
There you go. But I do agree with you. Like, I'm a big proponent of being disciplined in everything you do, because the harder you work, the more effort that you put into it, the more you pay attention to the small details, your art will become better.
Always better. Yeah.
But then I'll see someone produce, or this painting or this photograph or this song that it just came out of nowhere, and there's no discipline to it.
That's when we get that's when we can get into the discussion of art. Like some of the best forms of art come from complete chaos. Like some of your most favorite, most ridiculous, hectic songs are like, whoa, you were fucked up, or like you were a mess.
Yeah.
And I think it's like a yin and yang, I guess, but because sometimes there are times like I'll sing like really, I'll know I'm singing really bad, like not necessarily like bad quality, but like bad for me, where I'm like, oh, this might not, but I like want that sound or something, you know. And sometimes, you know, there are certain disciplines that you're like, you got to pick and choose, or you're like, oh, I want to have a gritty sound, but I know I'm gonna have a sore throat, you know what I mean? It's weird, because you're just like, when we talk about art, we're capturing a moment. We're not, like, when I'm in the studio sometimes, and I'll like...
Are you talking about all types of art?
Yeah, all types of art. Like, like, when you see that, like, a painting or something, you are like, I'm sure, like, however you got to the end of that painting, it could have been chaos, you know? Or it could have been not, you know? But, like, even with singing, sometimes I've had vocal coaches in a session with me where they're like, Michael, you're really pushing it. And I'll just, like, tell them, I'm like, I know, but I just need to do it one more time. I know it's not, like, the most properly done, but I'm trying to get this type of sound. And then, I mean, I'll love it, you know? Where I'm just like, oh, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do. It wasn't necessarily, like, perfectly sound with technique, but it got me my end product that I like really wanted.
How often does that happen? How often
are you... Not as often as it used to.
Yeah.
And when I was a little bit younger, I used to like try things where I would like get really... That was also around the time where I didn't really know what I wanted my sound to be.
Because I feel like a lot of artists, like, they don't really like listening to themselves, or they don't like observing their artwork. They're just like... Yeah, I put it out in the world and other people like it, and then it's cool.
I mean, I mix my own music, so like I like to mix my own music, but once it's like, what do you mean mix? Like, so I like to level everything, like like the piano, the kick drum, the guitar, the bass guitar, synth, whatever you name it, drums, all that stuff. But or all my vocals, and I like to mix it all myself. But that process is great and so fun. And it can be self-indulgent at times, you know, because it's all your stuff. But like once it's done, I do get why people are like, if their song like would start playing, they'd be like, turn that off. You know, I don't want to hear it.
No,
I don't know. Yeah.
Dude, how's it growing up as a gay man in the 2000s?
Ooh, good question.
Because
I'm gay. I'm kidding.
Are you? Oh, sorry, dude. Did I?
I'm fucking with you.
Because I've had a couple like older gay gentlemen on the podcast who are like in their 50s, and like to see them go through is really cool. But for me, like I want to ask these questions because I just don't understand. Like I didn't live that life of like did you not feel like you were accepted in a lot of part of your life? Because like for me, I never questioned, or I never got any slack for liking the opposite sex, because that's like what quote unquote normal was growing up, right?
Totally.
You know, and I just can't even imagine like society or other people who care about me like, oh, like I love you, but I don't like that part of you.
You've got a great perspective, because you're coming at it from a very like sympathetic angle, you know what I mean, where you're like trying to understand what their walk of life might be.
Because like I feel like that type of adversity, like if you can make it out the other end, will make you a stronger person.
Oh yeah, you have no choice. You have to be strong.
Yeah.
It will definitely make you strong. You know? I mean, I think it's cool. I'm glad, like, that's cool that you have had some guests on here that are older gays, you know, because I mean, they went through things that I have not, you know, they have paved the way to a certain extent for us younger gaylings to,
gaylings. I've never heard that
not
before.
A word. It's not a thing. I just made it up.
Are we making it a thing, guys?
No, God, don't even make it a thing. But to, like, you know, try to establish something that could, you know, now we have to piggyback up on that and, like, you know, continue to make a world of, you know, equalness and equality.
Yeah.
I personally didn't have too much of a problem. I'm very fortunate and very, very lucky.
Yeah.
Like, my parents were like super cool. I came out when I was 19, and like my mom was a news anchor and my mom was a radio personality for years, most of my childhood. And like, so my mom is like a gay man herself. Like, I mean, she's a hoot, but like, and so when I came
I don't even know what that means.
I know, exactly. But like, when I came out to her, she was like, honey, I've known since you were 3 anyways. So I was at the mall the other day. Like,
oh, really?
It was nothing. It was not a big deal. And
what?
Like, and my dad is like a Southern guy, was in the Navy, does laundry for fun. Like, I mean, like, he loves to mow a lawn. You know, he's like,
love like doing laundry though.
I do too. No, I got the gene. I love it too. But
I don't know why. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think I always, like, once they're out of the dryer, I'm just like, oh, yes, they're so clean. And just like, I did that. They're just, or like,
it's like you fold the like
I
shirt perfectly.
I have these little organizers in my drawer with all like my like workout clothes. I'm like, I file it away like a damn.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Continue.
But no, it was easy. Yeah. I mean, I was very accepted. I was very loved. There was no pushback, which is great because, I mean, I have been in relationship with people, and I've also like had a lot of friends that have that experience at all. Like, it was the complete opposite.
Did you know from a young age?
Yeah, I think I knew when I was like 13 or 14 or something.
Oh, that's like, I mean, you're somewhat developed.
I mean, it's so different for everyone. Yeah. Some people, it's like they're super young and they just know.
Yeah, because like looking back at it from when I started being attracted to other human beings, or I guess like females at the time, I think it was like first grade. Oh. Like, I was like, oh, that chick's hot. And I was like, why?
No way.
Why is that? Yeah.
How old is first grade? What is that? 8, 7, 9? What is that? No. 7.
I think it's like 7.
7. It's 7, right?
7. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. I think that, I mean, that's interesting to me. I mean, just from my perspective, I'm like, wow, that's weird. I wasn't like, I don't know. I didn't even think about it till later.
Until like 13-ish.
But I also am like, you know,
no,
sometimes there's a part of me that feels slightly odd, or like I could be, you know, like on the spectrum or something slightly.
Spectrum of sexuality?
No, like mentally, like I could be like, everyone's on a spectrum, you know?
Sure. I mean, it's a spectrum, right?
And a spectrum of sexuality too. We're going to get into that too, but like I don't know. It just, end of the day, it happened later. I don't even know
what that means. Cause like a few people on the podcast would say that, like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like I'm on the spectrum and I just don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean by that?
I think it could mean like how you take in information or process things, and like how, you know, everyone processes
because objectively a spectrum is like a wide range of every single person out there, right?
Exactly.
So everyone is on that spectrum.
Yeah.
And some people will relate it to like OCD, or some people will relate it to having a little bit of some clinical
tendencies
of things.
Yeah.
And it's so widely said that when people say that, it's hard to interpret and understand because it's just used so broadly.
It is a broad statement because I mean, what am I actually saying? I don't know. Like, I'm not pinpointing, you know, because I don't even really know.
Yeah. And like most of the time people say it in a negative light.
Oh, I don't say it negatively. I don't believe it negatively. I think that I'm trying to let it help me explain where, like, maybe I processed information like later, you know, for like when I was figuring out what I was attracted to, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it happened sooner for you. That's like,
cause I've only met my first gay friend when I was 20 years old.
How old are you now?
26.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
Yeah. So it's been a very immersive thing, because like I was bartending. My first bartending job was at, I think it was 19 maybe, but my first bartending job was at California Pizza Kitchen in West Hollywood. It was right across the street from the Fox Theater.
I know exactly where it is.
You know, and
I think I've been there.
The manager, one of the managers at the time, he was this awesome gay gentleman, and I just like vibed with him. We were good friends. Yeah. And he took me out to Pride for the first time when I was like 20 or 21, right? And I got my mind blown. I was like, there was like trans people out with their tits out. There was like parades, and I come from a conservative town in like Fresno, California. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is this? It's not in a negative light. I just like, I don't understand. I don't get it. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was wild. In LA, like, and just knowing like, I really appreciate people for people, and like if I vibe with you, I vibe with you regardless of your sexuality or like what you identify as or whatever. And I'm really just curious because like for most of my life, I did not know gay people. I didn't know any other person besides someone who's quote unquote normal. And what is normal? It's normal is whatever you surround yourself with. So I guess like now my normal is different, you know, and just learning to understand the new normal for me is, I just want to know all about it.
I mean, you're proving the point right now.
Go ahead.
Oh, you're proving the point right now that like, you know, you're born that way. Like you were born gay. It's such a, it's controversial, but it's true. It's true. Like I wouldn't, you know, I mean like it's difficult. Like that's why there's Pride, because it's like, it's the time that, you know, gay people celebrate, you know, that. And it's
crazy because parts of the world, I listened to Joe Rogan, and he had the world's strongest gay on. This guy.
What does that even mean?
So that's his handle.
Okay.
And he is a strong. He competes in strongman competitions.
Okay.
And he could not participate in one of these competitions because it was illegal to be gay in one of these countries. Like they kill people.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
It's wild.
Like parts of the world, you just cannot be who you are.
No. Yeah.
And it blows my mind.
No, it's horrible.
That's why I brought it back to the fact is like, I just don't understand because I never lived through that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we are like so fortunate. I mean, we have our own battles in this country, but like, yeah, there are some countries where like you will be stoned or something. Like it's absurd where you're just like, you will die. You will absolutely die. Yeah. There were, it's interesting you mentioned that because when I worked on cruise ships, there was a I can't remember the location though. There was one, it might've, I don't even know if it was like a Russian port or something. No, it was I can't remember, but, they were like, you know, it was like a port where it was like illegal to be gay there. And it was like, you just had to be really careful. You couldn't be wild.
You just had to put your Sperry's on.
Yeah, you had to put your damn khakis and your Sperry's and your polo on.
I'm glad you got that right away. I didn't think you were gonna get that.
Of course. I'm from Oklahoma and Texas. I know what a Sperry is and what it means. That is so funny. But yes,
if you guys don't know what we mean, Sperry's are these boat shoes that a lot of like frat boys do.
Guys, yeah.
I got a couple because I tried to be a frat boy one time in my life, but
were you in a frat?
No, the only reason why I was never in a frat because I did not want people to associate me with like, I wanted to shock people. The whole thing about my existence of like what I want to do right now, it's like you could be so different that it's intriguing. Right?
Yeah.
So like, for example, I drink a lot and I work out a lot. And it doesn't kind of like go hand in hand. Like usually most of my bartending friends only drink. And most of my fitness friends only fitness and they don't drink that much.
Yeah.
And combining the two, it's like, oh, that's super cool. For example, like you have a bear right? It's like, whatever, it's a bear. And you have a unicycle. And then you have a bear on a unicycle. That makes it interesting. So I guess for the longest time, I was just like, I'm going to be the dude who has like frat boy tendencies, but it was never in a frat. Yeah. But like is super like willing to have an open conversation and like be open-minded and be intelligent and know your stuff. And you got to keep everyone on your toes. Yeah. Like that makes someone interesting.
Absolutely. What did you study in school?
Sociology and statistics. Okay.
And, so you're a math guy.
No, I'm not very good with like quick numbers and stuff, but I liked solving problems. Okay. So like you would give me this really big calculus problem and it would take me like 3 pages to fill. And similar to, I guess, your production stuff of where your balance sheets and like whatever, I would get so satisfied for solving the right problem. Like I have the answer to it. Yeah. And I came up with that answer. Oh, yeah. Like that was the best feeling. And I did not have a very good understanding of the realities of it, like how it transferred to real world things. Cause like a lot of people use math and statistics to like for roads and like for whatever. And I was just like, I just like solving problems.
Oh, yeah. I hear you on that. I'm that way too. I like when a problem is solved and it's like perfect. You know? And you put like a lot of time and effort into it and it's like it balances out nicely. Yeah. Yeah.
It ends up working out. Cause like I feel like every day is like you have many problems and like I have a checklist of things and I've got fucking 100 problems. And like, I'm just going to cross out one at a time and it's going to feel the best fucking thing ever. It's like each cross. Yeah. Each time.
Like I'm curious now. I'm interviewing you.
Go ahead.
When did you like bartend when you were in school, or like what got you into that? Like what made you interested in?
So basically, when I was in college, I went to UCLA. Right. Yeah. I went after community college because I was trying to pursue golf. Yeah. And I was like, I love this. I kind of like it here, like in LA. And I was like, what could provide money for me to not be glued to a 9-to-5 job and do that. And it was the two things, personal training, bartending. I was like, that's it. Like people make good money, personal training. I see it all the time. And people make good money bartending and serving too. But like the thing is with bartending, there was a little bit of a creative aspect to it. Right? Oh yeah. You know, you're mixing stuff together, you know, you're putting it in a glass and for someone to enjoy versus serving, you're kind of just like putting orders in, you know, and that's the only difference. Like if you look at like high-end restaurants, servers make more money than bartenders. But the only thing is like, dude, this is the coolest thing. Tomorrow I'm interviewing the guy who got me into fitness. Like when I was 18 years old, I would follow this dude on social media and like emulate or copy like what he was doing. And that's how I got in fitness. And he sat at my bar one day. And so cool. And I just said I'm a big fan, and that, and made him a good cocktail, and he's gonna be on the podcast tomorrow. It's a big congrats. Full circle.
That's so exciting.
A big full circle moment.
That's a big deal. That's really exciting.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like so many people think that like it's so contrasting, but it's the yin to my yang. Bartending and personal training go very well for me. You know,
yeah. I know. I need to come visit you at your establishment because there is some creativity, especially if you like create your own cocktail or something. You know, like unless they order a damn Paloma and it's fresh grapefruit and you got to use the machine, that's when it sucks.
Yeah, we got fresh grapefruit juice, bro.
Okay, there you go. I hope someone else juices it for you.
Someone else juices it. Okay, we got good bar back.
I worked at this pizza bistro and like we did not have a bar back and like. We had this big machine, and as soon as I would hear the I'm like, they're ordering a Paloma, and I'm like, God Almighty! I just always remembered having to, and then the machine is filthy. Yeah. So like at the end of the night, you gotta clean. It's kind of
crazy how like one juicing of like a fruit like creates a huge mess.
Massive mess.
That's a mess.
Oh yeah, and you gotta clean that at the end of the night. Or if I worked at a bar that had this like one of these machines.
Wait, how long did you bartend for?
I worked at 2 bars. I worked at one that was like a stadium bar. Okay. But it was like, and there were peanuts on the floor. Could you imagine a gay kid in one of those little bars? It was like howdy, can I get you a Bud Light? But it was it was not that like hard with that one. It was a lot of beer pouring, and occasionally you'd have like
beer shots. It's mostly beer and shots.
Like you'd have like 20 middle-aged women come in and want lemon drops or whatever. You know, I'm like, okay, whatever. But then I worked at a pizza bistro after that, where I was bartending. And
is a Pizza Bistro like a higher end version of just like a regular pizza shop, or like what?
Slightly, yeah. It's like a sit-down restaurant. Like good deep dish pizza. Okay. I mean, it was in this was in Arizona, and it was like it was a good restaurant, and we had some great drinks on the menu, like some specialty drinks, but like I don't know, where was I going with this? I mean, I loved it. I actually enjoyed bartending a lot.
We were just talking about creativity and just like about the cocktails when you asked me about why did you get into bartending?
Oh yes, I mean, I like it kind of fell in my lap at the time. I was like needing a job, and I loved it. I actually really liked it. I met great people too. Yeah. You make connections.
That's the biggest thing when we were talking about COVID and you felt like slightly introverted, right? Mm-hmm. That's one thing that bartending does for me. It's like you have to be on your toes. You have to be able to talk to people, and life's a people game.
I always find it so bizarre, and there's many like where I meet a bartender that like doesn't want to talk at all, and I'm like, I get it. It's like not like the priority of your job to like entertain me. Yeah, you are like you're gonna make the drink and like make me a great drink or whatever. But like, I loved to talk. I loved to like hang out and like meet people and chat.
Well, the thing is, like a lot of people, they go to bars, mostly bars, to be paid attention to.
Yes.
It's like a lot of people don't get the attention they have if they don't have a relationship, if they don't have like good friends, they go seek it out. Yeah. And the one thing that I want to, I guess, like be in this world is someone who pays attention to people who are looking for it, because like some people need it. Absolutely. I had a lot of like friends, like not a lot. I had a few friends commit suicide and like just at an early age.
Oh my God.
And the biggest thing I was like, like what if I said hi to them more in class, or like this and that. And and so like just putting your best foot forward all the time, because you don't know what people are going through.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. What are you most excited for in your life right now, my friend?
Most excited for in my life right now. I'm excited for the next chapter. I really am. After like getting off the show and really trying to like think of really cool things that I can do that I love working in TV commercials. I do. But to pull me out of that, like I want to like start finding other ways to make money and not just make money, but also like, create things that could have value for people.
At the end of the day, is it like, are you trying to make I guess, do you want to be a full-time singer?
Absolutely. Yeah. If I had that opportunity, absolutely.
Yeah. But we just talked about the hardships of it, like the traveling part, like everything like that. Like it's all worth it.
I think at that point, like I would hope to be at a slightly a higher level than at that. Because I mean, like there are many musicians and singers that are like, it is a grind, you're traveling from one place to another. But like, I would hope to like have like maybe one step up where I'm like, not dying in coach.
Well, that's not what I meant. Just that. I mean, like even big artists, like when they tour, like you're in a different spot every day.
True.
It's hard, dude.
It is hard. It is really hard. Yeah. But I don't know. There's like still a little part of me that would love to get back on the road. Always. It's like, I don't know.
You're like, cool, let me get out of here.
Yeah. I love coming home. I mean, I love coming home. I love being home. But like, there's still a little part of me that's like, oh, I want to, go back on the road.
When people listen to your music, or like, I guess, original music that will eventually come out, like, what's the goal of the songs that you will make? Like, what's the story that you're trying to tell?
I mean, I tell a little bit of a different story with every song, Sure. Like, I mean, I would just hope to like, not only connect with like some, 15 or 17-year-old gay boy in Oklahoma who can't come out. Maybe that kid. I think of him. And then I also think of, like songs that could have a broader message that could appeal to many people. I think about a pretty wide spectrum of people that could break my hand. That could I don't know, find, a message or value in whatever message I'm delivering.
Do you think about that when you're creating the actual pieces?
Oh yeah, all the time. I think about like who could like connect with this always. Who could this be appealing to,
Do you build it from the ground up like that? Do you like, oh, like this is an experience that I've had. How do I put it in a artistic manner that could rhyme and fucking go with this beat and shit?
That's the puzzle sometimes of making music. Like you're trying to figure out the puzzle of like, how do I package this message that I love and value so much in a way that's not only like appealing, but also could really, I don't know, inspire someone.
Yeah. I mean, it's harder than writing because like the biggest thing that is very scary about art is like you have a blank canvas. There's nothing there.
Oh yeah,
it's zero. And it's up to you to put something on it.
Where do you start?
And then you're like, okay, cool, now I got words, like now I gotta fucking create this like beat and shit. Like I find it so cool, because it's a superpower. You have something, you have nothing, and you make it into something. It came out of your head.
Yeah.
Where do you think ideas come from?
When I sit down to make something, I sometimes I'll be like, what am I feeling right now? That's where I start, because you can get lost. You can easily get lost and never start something or finish something. I have so many songs that are not finished. So many where I open it back up and I'm like, oh, that was a good one. Where I'm like, but where I would open it back up again, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But no, it's a lot of the time a great starting point is like, where are you right now?
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I feel really good today. I'm gonna like make a summary, like nice, like pop, fun, positive hit. Or there's some times where you're like, oh, I'm sad. I'm gonna really like try to express what I'm feeling, and you pull up, like you start playing some sad ass chords and you just start singing. And that's your starting place. And then you're like, you just grow from there.
Isn't that a superpower, bro? The fact that you could say, I'm going to play some sad ass chords. And isn't it weird that these sounds, right? It makes you feel sad, but why? Like, it's just a sound. Like, why doesn't that sad chord make you feel happy?
I don't know. That's a great question. There are like,
you know what I'm saying? Like
a minor chord.
A minor chord.
A minor chord is like, more sad sounding.
Sure.
It just has a sadder
vibe. Why are we interpreting that as not happy?
I don't know. That is the science where I'm like, I don't know.
Like I get curious about it because there's like I've had someone on who's super into like these sound baths, right? And like the sound healing, and I don't know anything about it. And I'm just like, these sound waves, I mean, obviously they hit you and they hit these cells in your body and they make you feel a certain way. And I don't know the science behind it. I want to get more into it, but it just objectively, I'm just like, why does this sound that goes into our ears that is a minor chord make me feel like sad or mad or this and that? I'm just like, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's like, oh, you play this like nice C chord and it's like, wow, that's so beautiful.
It's just
like,
positive feeling. I don't know. I can't describe it at all. It's weird.
Do you ever think about that?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. Cause like there's times where you're like, you sit and you do like a whole progression where you like, you play some chords and you're like, oh, this kind of gives me this feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's always minor chords in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily, sometimes it might make you sad. It might not. It all depends on like melody. Like,
are you classically trained? Like in piano and everything?
No, I'm pretty good at piano. I can like, when I was in school, I would always accompany my friends who were singers. Like they could give me sheet music and I'll play. But like singing wise, I definitely did like like some operatic. Where am I from? Boston? I did some like Boston. Give me the cat. I did some opera. Definitely. I did some competitions and sang. Yeah.
What benefit or deficit do you think that does for you as someone who's doing like more creative mainstream stuff right now?
It can be hard because like when you're like trained in a way, you like, oh no, I can't do it like that because that's not good for me. But like sometimes you have to like break out of that. I definitely am thankful of having that foundation because like I've been on the road and I've done shows where I've been sick as a dog. Like I've been on stage with a fever where I'm like, really, but you have to do the show. And I mean, it's not going to be your best, but like you still have some good technique that can carry you through the show, where you can still hit the note, you can still do your thing. So I'm thankful for it in that aspect. But if I want to get weird and creative in the studio and I'm trying new things, sometimes I have to like let it go.
How do you do that? How do you let it go?
I don't know. I just like, I more focus on what it is sounding like coming out of my mouth than how I'm making the sound. Weird way to think about it.
Wait, say that again?
So I'm more thinking about what the sound is actually like in a microphone, than how I'm producing the sound. Because with like opera, you produce like, you breathe in a different way. You breathe low. You like
project
relax,
a lot higher.
You project. You like I mean, you don't use microphones. Like you sing over a 60-piece orchestra with your voice, like not a microphone. You're not like amplified. So I mean, you just have to like, I don't know. It's a mind game kind of. You just have to like let it go. But
yeah. I don't know. The classical, it's so funny because like I look up to people who, I guess the most of the musicians that I look up to are people who aren't necessarily classically trained, but they just naturally do it.
Oh, the ones who are natural are like sometimes the best. Like one of the greatest like rock singers you could say, like Steve Perry of Journey. He not trained. He's not trained at all. Yeah. But like he was born with such a natural, insane voice.
And then you got that Filipino dude who's like saying the same shit.
Oh my God, he sounds insane.
So good.
What is like going on? I've heard him. I was like, there is something going on like that. I like, there is something like,
if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Steve Perry passed away. And there's this Filipino dude who sounds exactly like Steve Perry.
Wait, Steve Perry, he's not dead, is he? He's alive. Is he alive? He's alive.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's alive. His voice is gone,
singer of Journey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I fucked up, guys. He's not dead. Look it up. I don't know if it's going on. I'm fucking up right now.
No, I think he's alive, but I mean, I could be wrong. After. I could be wrong, but we'll do a quick Google. But yeah, no. I mean, Steve Perry, he's older, you know, you can't, like, those songs are crazy high. Like, they're so hard to sing.
Guys. Please don't get mad at me.
I could have fucked up too. I don't know. He could be dead, but
we'll find this out later.
No, that new singer is crazy. He's so good. Something's in the water.
Yeah.
Something's in the water in the Philippines. I don't know what it is.
Do you think about this at all? Like, someone sings and plays guitar and they get paid millions of dollars a year, and there are people out there who don't have that privilege, you know? It's just like, it's so cool that someone can do that, but also it's like so not cool,
because there's so many insanely talented people.
There's so many insanely talented people in the world.
Yeah.
And like, people pay for attention, right? So like, you look at social media followers, social media, like these TikTokers who are young, and so many people will just vibe with like them doing a dance.
And they're just like,
and they're like, I have friends who do food content on TikTok, and they get paid more money than most of my doctor friends. I'm just like, that's interesting. Like,
are they like cooking the food, or are they just like making it look real pretty?
Cooking the food.
Oh, cool.
You know, and they just got big over 3 years, and they're paying like $10K a month, like in this dope ass like penthouse apartment that they got.
Oh, kill me.
And that's cool.
God, that's so cool.
It's so
I envy them.
Right?
That's so cool.
But then like I have these doctor friends who are doing the same thing, and I'm just like, yo, this is like a different type of hard. Like you could make money doing anything, you know? And it's just fascinating that way. I don't know. Do you ever think about that with like music and stuff?
Oh, all the time. I think it's what connects people. I think they figured out something that is unique. That is what you have to do. Like there are so many people with so much talent, but like, how do you package that in an appealing way that's going to connect people?
I feel like it's so much luck too.
Oh yeah. There's a big element of luck.
Yeah.
Luck and, like consistency,
I feel like consistency is the hardest part.
It can be.
I mean, it's a very direct correlation with working out.
Yeah.
You could work out fucking hard as shit. Tomorrow you will look exactly the same, dude.
Oh, I know. It's the hardest part. It's so funny. I'll do like a week where I'm like, I went to the gym 6 times this week, and I'll be like, why the hell do I'm not ripped?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's such a,
Yeah.
You have to be patient.
Cool. Well, dude, thank you for coming on.
Dude, this was such a pleasure. I had so much fun.
Yeah. Where can everyone find you?
Michael B. Singing. That's
Michael, and it's actually B. It's just like B.
Michael B. Singing, all on everything.
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 And I guess, what would you have to say for like people who are giving up on their dream of like being a singer or just like a dream in general?
You know, I want to give up sometimes every day, like where I'm just like, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to happen. Even in my current state, like there are times I'm like, I'm just not, I'm not this, I'm not that. I see something online where I'm like, this person's doing that. I'm constantly comparing myself. And when I have a moment where I get out of that headspace and I either sit down and record something or whatever it may be that's in direct correlation with like my art or whatever I want to do. And this can relate to anyone, not necessarily a singer. I feel like full. I'm like, wait, I'm like, I still am like kind of meant to do this. And like, cause I don't want to, I could be cheesy and be like, yes, don't give up. Don't give up. But like, of course, don't give up. Yeah. Like really don't. Like, man, I have had so many no's for one person to say yes. Like so much rejection. Yeah. And just gotta keep going.
And every no's like one step closer to yes.
True.
You know, and the denial, it's a tough feeling.
How do you rewire your brain to take that denial with like, what am I going to do the next time? Always. What am I going to do the next time? The next time. That is where you're going to exponentially grow. Then you're going to step foot in front of that casting director or whatever, and it's going to be the right moment, and you are going to be in the right mind because you had all this bullshit no's in front of you, but that one time it'll probably work out. Amen. It's also a gamble, but hell yeah, fuck yeah.
Rock on, y'all. Go check out Michael's stuff on The Voice. It should still be up on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah.
And him singing all of these beautiful voices and stuff. Yes. Thanks for coming on, bro. I appreciate you.
Thanks,
this was a blast. See you guys. Go check it out, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.